And howdy, this is Aggie Gamer 93, and this is a special episode of Late to the Game. This is actually going to be a short follow-up video to my new PC build video. I just wanted to showcase what's running on it. My last machine was Windows 10, so I decided instead of putting Windows 11 on my new machine, I wanted to go with Linux. So I wanted to showcase that as well. We'll talk a little bit about which flavor of Linux I'm using. But yeah, this is it. So I wanted to show, in the build video I was talking about the 4 SATA drives that I wanted to RAID together. But I had a heck of a time actually getting the RAID controller on the motherboard to even see the SATA drives. So yeah, the whole RAID thing didn't pan out. So instead I have them set up as 4 separate volumes. So each of them are, they're each a 2 terabyte SATA drive, and I mounted them as folders within my home folder. So one is an archive, and this is really where most of the backup data that I pulled off of my old machine is on the archive drive right now. This is also where I'll store archive copies of all the videos that get posted to YouTube. I have a data volume. This is where data that I'll use more often will go. That doesn't need to reside on the faster NVMe SSD. I have a test volume. This is where test and development will go. I'm probably going to start a game dev project in the near future now that I have this machine running. And then I have my virtual volume. This is, I'll probably run, I know I named it VMware, but I ended up setting up KVM. So this is where virtual machine files will end up. And so that's what I did with those drives. Now you're probably wondering, if you're not familiar with Linux, probably wondering how well it's going to run these games. And as far as the content creation, well, OBS Studio is native, so that's what I'm running. There's a Linux native version of OBS Studio. That's what I'm running to capture this video. And game-wise, so I'm actually using this version is called BigLinux. It's actually a Brazilian version of, or I'm sorry, Portuguese version of Manjaro Linux. And I don't know, I really liked the aesthetic of it, and it has, basically has Steam built in. That'll work for me because every game that I'm playing on here is available through Steam, so that's how we're going to run it. Yeah, if you look at the games, I already have Stray installed and Skyrim. I'm going to work on getting the other guys installed, and I've already been in, and they do run. And I'll show you. Now, the thing with these types of games, when you have a saved, these are local single user games, right? So you have save files that you have to worry about when you're transitioning from one machine to another, so you don't lose your progress. And so here's a little informational bit for you for if you're moving to Linux from a Windows system and you're wondering, well, where do the save game files go? Well, at least for Steam, and I'll show you the examples for these 2 games, Stray and Skyrim. So you'll want to put those save files. Well, first you'll go to your file manager, and in your home folder, because your home folder is where Steam puts its stuff, but you want to show the hidden files first. And the save files will go in local, share, go down to Steam, Steam apps, and here, where you go from here kind of depends on the game. Some games will put their save files kind of in the same directory that the game is installed in, right? So if that's the case, you'll go to Common and find the game itself, the game folder, and the example, Stray is the example, their save files go under this HK project folder, right? So that's where I copied the save files to. Skyrim, however, Skyrim puts its save files in your My Documents folder, assuming a Windows machine, right? So the Steam compatibility libraries kind of takes care of that for you by simulating that file structure, and that goes under the compat data directory. And you're going to want to figure out which one of these, if you have more than one of these is the current Steam ID. For me, it was the top one. So you go into that, go into PFX, Drive C, Users, Steam User, and My Documents. And Skyrim will put its stuff in the My Games folder under My Documents. So I just dropped my save files there that I pulled off of the old machine, and when I go into Skyrim, the save files are there for me to load. So that way we don't lose our progress, which would be a big bummer. And a few other things, at least with BigLinux. I don't know if the other distributions do this, but web apps, you can actually set up little quick links to particular web apps. Like I've got Notion. I like using Notion, my Gmail, and you can go straight to 365 as well. So this is where my OneDrive stuff is, and I can use this, use the web version of all of Office's apps, or we also have the LibreOffice stuff installed if you prefer the locally installed productivity apps. And of course command line, and I like this. Of course, with my new machine, I can, activate all the neat little bits that without taxing the machine. Yep. So I got. Yeah, might as well show you Steam. We can go into the. Go into the Steam store here. So that works, and as long as, now when I first opened it up and I started looking for the games that I play, at first I wasn't finding half of what I play. So you do need to come in and under compatibility, you need to enable Steam Play for all other titles, so that it'll run even the Windows games with the Proton compatibility library, which usually for most games should work fairly well. So that's where we are. and yeah, and I'm liking it so far. Performance is smooth, but we're gonna find out, because the other issue. Oh yeah, the other issue is, you know, using open source drivers for the video stuff for the Radeon. I don't have the proprietary encoder, hardware encoder stuff for OBS Studio to go with it. So we're gonna find out if that's gonna affect the performance of these videos that I'm making. So that's going to be a little learning curve. Another learning curve was I was used to using Clipchamp in Windows. It was free, and it was easy, it was simple, because I'm really not doing a whole lot in the way of editing. And I did like some of the built-in text options. So moving over to Linux, you know, DaVinci Resolve is one popular title that's out there that you can use in Linux, as well as Windows. But my understanding is it is more powerful and more complicated, so there's a bigger learning curve. I went with Shotcut because it was allegedly simpler to use. And was supposed to be fairly fairly reliable, but I don't know if I'm going to stay with Shotcut. I may end up going to DaVinci anyway. Yeah, I'm not thrilled with the text options that are available. And it was a little harder to, the learning curve was a little more than Clipchamp was here, but I did actually do more with this video than I ever did with Clipchamp, at least that last video. But that's just one of the things that you got to learn when you're switching to something new. So, well, hopefully this is interesting. And just some background, I do have some familiarity with Linux. I've used Linux before, but this is kind of the first time that I'm seriously using it as a complete replacement for Windows. So we'll see how it goes going forward, and look forward to get back to gaming. So after this video is posted, and by the time my next video after this one posts, it will be after Christmas, so I'm going to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays now, and thanks for watching.